I'm not paying the student loans. The government keeps threatening all these things they're going to do to people if they don't pay their student loans. I don't think they realize we don't care. We don't have enough to care. We don't care about credit scores anymore. We don't care if you siphon our paychecks. We're just gonna quit and move on to the next company because that company was probably gonna fire us anyway. People don't stay at jobs like they used to. People aren't locked in to a job they have to stay at for 35 years because they're getting a pension and great benefits. Those things don't happen anymore. So if you threaten to siphon people's paychecks, they're just gonna quit and go to another company because that company was probably gonna go bankrupt anyway and fire everybody in the next couple months. This is gonna be so much work for the government to siphon paychecks, and it's not gonna get them enough money. They're gonna end up losing money because they're gonna have to hire thousands of people to try and get this money from people that don't have it. They're gonna end up spending more money than they get in the long run. So these empty threats that they're giving us, they aren't scaring us. If the government's watching, it doesn't scare us. We don't have enough for that to scare us. So I won't pay the hospital then if you take my student loans out of my check. It's one or the other. We pay our health care and our medical bills, or we pay our student loan bills, or our credit cards, or our loans. Like, we can't pay it all. We're not making enough to pay it all. We're not sitting back and living in mansions, going on 20 vacations a year like the billionaires and saying, I don't want to pay my student loans. That's not it. We literally can barely afford life. We're just choosing which bills to pay. And the student loan one was taken off of the plate. I have less. Back when I was paying my student loans and the economy was a little better, I had more money back then, even with paying the student loans. I have less money now, and you want to take the student loans on top of it. I can't even be nervous about it because I can't afford it. I don't know what you're gonna take from me, but whatever you take, that means I'm not gonna pay something else because I don't have that kind of money. My job just doesn't pay that. It just doesn't.
Some student loan borrowers are refusing to pay out of protest. The article says millions of borrowers with existing student loans still have not made a payment since the bills resumed in October after a 3-year hiatus. And some admit that they're refusing to pay for spite, strictly out of protest.
You. How long does this protest last before they start cracking on them?
Well, you know, the first thing that happens is like when you don't pay your bill, it's like, okay, you're late. There's fees, 6% in some cases. Then you go into default. And if you stay in default for long enough, then you go from owing what your missed payments were to owing the entire balance right up front. Like it escalates very quickly. And what happens there is when that takes place, it's like, all right, you're not going to be able to ever qualify. Not that I think that you need to, but you take yourself out of the running to ever qualify for any payments, forbearance, deferment ever again. Because you've poo-pooed on it and said, you know, you've basically given the government the finger. And so at that point, you've truly screwed yourselves in many ways. And I'm like, can you imagine you go to work and you don't even get your paycheck because they're able to garnish a certain percentage of your paycheck?
That's what people don't realize.
Yeah, they can take they can hold your passport.
You know what? And while you're protesting, they can do those things to you.
And the thing is, you think that these people are losing sleep over this in the government? No. They don't care about that. They don't care about you.
So we're talking about student loans. So the government has decided to resume collections on student loans, and some people are in protest saying that they're refusing to pay. So let's continue.
It's going to be okay because I'm only like $120,000 in student loan debt.
Right now.
It's okay, yeah. The other student loan debt will be a future me problem. It's fine.
What future? So are you going back to school to avoid having to pay on the $120,000 right now?
No, I've been in forbearance and all that. I have never made a student loan payment. I've been in deferment. Like I've been all the programs you can get.
No. Are you in forbearance or deferment?
Forbearance.
Well,
because I sent them my paycheck stub saying, hey, I'm too poor. I can't pay this. I have a six-figure
what if the
degree.
new administration doesn't give a fuck about that?
I don't know what I'm going to do then.
Yeah, it's future you problem.
It is.
As in like next month. As in literally next month.
We'll figure out.
I know nothing about the new Department of Education head. Future nominated.
I mean, my payments when they tried to get me to pay was like over $1,000 a month payment.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in this world that I'll pay, but student loans is not one of them. I'll be seeing like people stress out about paying student loans, and I'm not gonna have that stressor. Why? Because I'm just not gonna pay it. I just don't get the concept of me furthering my education and going to school so I can be in debt 100 grand. I just don't understand. So what y'all telling me is that we can fund wars for countries that ain't got nothing to do with us, but we making our Americans pay all this money in debt for school. Then what happened to Biden? Biden, you said you was that's how you got us. You said you was gonna cancel 10,000 or 20,000, whatever the case may be. I ain't seen a cancellation yet. So I'm just trying to figure out who's the people that actually got canceled. Because I ain't seen nobody come on this internet here and say that their student loans have been canceled. The government is gonna have to get them student loans by blood, because I'm never gonna just make a payment on them. Never. Y'all gonna have to come take that out of my check in order to get it, because it ain't happening. It just ain't.
So for some reason, many people are saying they're never paying off their student loans, and here's why. And by the way, this is not an illegal thing that they're doing. This is totally legal, just a tax-savvy strategy to have them not pay their student loans. What people are doing is once they graduate, they keep their enrollment open, doing 6 credits per year, keeping their deferment options available for student loan payments. Here's where it gets interesting. Because they're technically a student still, they can go and defer their payments, not make student loan payments, spend about $2,000 a year in classes, but receive back $1,000 in a lifetime learning credit, bringing their total to $1,000 per year to freeze their student loan payments. The reason why this is going viral online is not only does it help people freeze their student loans, but it also is helping them level up their skills and get more advanced degrees. But let me know, is this a good idea or completely shady? I'm going to make a follow-up video tomorrow going deeper into this, but for more news that makes you money, go over and give me a follow.
If you're planning not to pay back your student loans, keep watching. We've gotten a lot of comments like this, people just saying, I'm not paying them back, don't pay them back. And I'm not passing judgment on that plan. If that is your plan, that is your plan. But I want you to understand what the potential consequences are before you go into that plan. One of the things people say is, I'm never going to be able to buy a house anyway, so why does it matter? And that is a valid concern, but it doesn't just affect your ability to buy a house. So first thing, when you default on your loan, something called acceleration happens. And that means that instead of monthly payments, you now owe everything all at once. You can't defer or forbear your loans, and you no longer have eligibility for any federal student aid. So if you wanted to go back to school and get student aid to do that, you can't. You can't do that for your kids with a Parent Plus loan. Here's the really big thing. The default is reported to credit bureaus, so that damages your credit rate. And yes, that matters if you're buying a house, but it matters for a lot of other things too. Your credit score is used in tons of situations. So buying a house, buying a car, getting auto insurance, getting renter's insurance, getting homeowner's insurance. Employers might pull your credit score when you're looking for a job. They use it as a sign of whether you're like a responsible person. It's used to determine whether you can get another credit card. If you're trying to rent an apartment, a lot of landlords look at credit scores to determine whether they think someone will be able to pay. Having a bad credit score can impact many areas of your life, and it can take a long time to reestablish a good credit score. Like that original commenter pointed out, they can garnish your wages. And the loan holder can take you to court, which is a very expensive proposition. Now, if you're already in default, you can use the Fresh Start program to kind of get back on your feet. It erases the default and puts you on a payment plan that works for you. This is only available for 1 year after repayment starts. So if you're in this position, you want to apply now, and you would do that by contacting your lender. The other thing that can help you out right now is this on-ramp that Biden has created, where for the first 12 months of repayment, if you don't make a payment, you will not be put into default. But remember, interest is accruing that whole time. And after that year, you will be put into default if you don't make payments. And if you have private student loans instead of federal student loans, you don't have access to a Fresh Start program, and you will likely be sent to collections pretty quickly after not paying your student loans. So take that information and do what you will. But if you want help paying off your student loans faster and with support, then like and follow for more information.